Find the reference angle alpha of each of the given angles. So we got in part A theta equals 210. Okay, so that is 210 is bigger than 180. How big? 210 minus 180 is just 30 more. So here would be 180, a little bit more. So this is 210 degrees. Now we need to find the reference angle, which will be then this, okay, with x-axis, and we just saw this is 30 degrees more, so the alpha is 30 degrees. Okay, part B we got negative 305. So 305, that's not 360. Negative means we need to go clockwise, not 360, but how many degrees fewer? So 360 minus 305 is 5, so 55 less than 360. So starting here 360 would have been all the way, but 55 less. Okay, I did not mean to complete this. Should be just a little bit less, so somewhere here, does not have to be exact. So this is 305. Okay, negative in the sense clockwise. Now that leaves 55 here, and that is reference angle 55 degrees. So in part C we got in terms of radians now. So here 11 pi over 7. One way to find the reference angle is convert this into degrees and go from there, but you should write your answer in terms of radians measure as well. So let's work on radians. We know that this is pi, this is 0, pi, come back, this is 2 pi. Okay, so negative means we need to go clockwise. So negative, so if we go clockwise, this is 0, this is negative pi, come back here, that's negative 2 pi, and so on. So negative 11 pi over 7, is that 2 pi? 11 over 7 is not 2, because 7 times 2 would be 14, but this is not 14, this is only 11. Okay, this is bigger than 1 pi, and this one is, if we go clockwise, negative pi over 2 half pi, negative 1 pi, and this is negative 1.5 pi. Okay, that is 3 pi over 2, negative 3 pi over 2. Okay, so 11 over 7, is this here or here? Because 11 over 7, this is 1.5. 11 over 7 is, if we do in terms of decimals, okay, that will be 7 times 1 point. Okay, 7 goes 11 one times, then the 7 plus 4, 47.5 and more. So negative 11 pi over 7 is a little bit further down here, because this is 1.5, but this is a little bit more than 1.5. You can check in your calculator. Okay, so it will be somewhere here. So this angle is negative 11 pi over 7, and now that leaves this angle for alpha. So this is 11 pi over 7 kind of, this is 2 pi. Let's forget about negatives, now subtract. So 2 pi minus 11 pi over 7, which is 7, so we need to make common denominator. 7 goes to 7 times to 14, so this is 14 pi over 7. Okay, so 14 pi minus 11 pi is 3 pi over 7, so this is 3 pi over 7. So So that's the reference angle, 3 pi over 7. Reference angle is always positive and less than 90 degrees. Okay, now let's do the same thing. So we got 5 pi over 9. Okay, it's a positive. So here is we got 0, half pi, pi over 2, and 1 full pi here. So 5 over 9 pi's. 5 over 9 is bigger than half, because half of 9 would be 4.5. So this is a little bit bigger, so bigger than pi, half pi. So it will be somewhere here. Okay, so this angle is 5 pi over 9, bigger than 1/2 pi, because 5 over 9 is bigger than 1/2. Then that leaves with x-axis always this angle, which is alpha. So we subtract 5 pi over 9 from pi. So pi minus 5 pi over 9. So this is 9 pi over 9. Okay, pi is the same as 9 pi over 9 minus 5 pi. So 9 pi minus 5 pi, 4 pi over 9. So this is 4 pi over 9. That is the reference angle. So here negative 19 pi over 6, that's negative, means we need to go clockwise. This is negative 1/2 pi, negative 1 pi, negative 1.5 pi, negative 2 pi, going clockwise. So 19 over 6, 19 over 6, if we do in terms of decimals, 6 goes at 6 times or 18, and then 1, so 3.1. So this is like negative, 3.1 pi, 3.1, bigger than 3 pi in terms of magnitude. Okay, so 3.1 means, let's try to go, this is negative 1 pi, negative 2 pi, negative 3 pi, a little bit more in magnitude. Okay, so this angle is negative 19 pi over 6. Then that leaves this angle with x-axis is reference angle, alpha. So how do we determine that then? Now we just subtract these two angles. Okay, this is 3 pi, so we can think pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, so we can think this is same as negative 3 pi. So subtract one of them from other. So this is a little bit bigger than 3 pi, right? So 19 pi over 6 minus 3 pi. So we are just finding the difference, so I'm not considering negatives. So this one, 3 pi is, we can 6, so this is 6 times 3, 18 pi over 6. Okay, 3 pi is same as 18 pi over 6. 6 common denominator, 19 pi minus 18 pi is 1 pi over 6. So this is pi over 6, 1 pi over 6. So the reference angle is pi over 6. Okay, here we got 7 pi over 3. It's positive. 7 over 3 is 7 goes twice, 6.3. It's bigger than 2 pi. Okay, 7 pi over 3 is bigger than 2 pi. So bigger than 2 pi means, so positive means this is here 1 pi, go back 2 pi, a little bit more than 2, so it's somewhere here. Okay, and not 2.5, this is 2.5. 0, half pi, 0.5 pi, 1 pi, 1.5 pi, 2 pi, 2.5, but this is kind of 2.3, so here. So this angle is 7 pi over 3, okay, which is about 2.3. Now the reference angle is always with x-axis, so this angle, that means we subtract 2 pi. So 7 pi over 3 minus 2 pi. To make common denominator, 3 times to 6 pi over 3. So 2 pi is same as 6 pi over 3. Now 3 common denominator, 7 pi minus 6 pi, 1 pi. So this is pi over 3. So the reference angle is pi over 3.